Summer is a great time to be outside, and what makes it better is being outside underneath trees.
Welcome to People and Trees, an exploration of the social, technical, and environmental impact of urban forestry. We're the New Jersey Tree Foundation, and we plant trees in the neighborhoods that need them most at the request of the people who live there. The goal of this series is to recognize and share the collective wisdom of our volunteers and partners. In the last episode, we played outside in the winter woods. Now it's time to trade your scarves for sunglasses. It's summertime, and urban trees are hard at work, looking great and doing great things.
Trees in cities, every tree is working really hard to provide the benefits to the people who live adjacent to the tree. Forests, as we think of the traditional forest, are really important and they do so much good, but they're so far away from us, right? But if you're living in the city, that tree right in front of your house is gold because that's giving you the benefits. You're getting that shade. You're getting that beauty and the calm. Like we know from studies that being under a canopy of trees actually changes our brain chemistry. And there have been studies where they track, your brain activity walking through, a city square with no trees and then walking under the canopy. And it's different and it calms us. And there are health benefits. You have lower instances of cardiovascular disease and lung disease where we have trees that are improving air quality and even just lowering the temperature and reducing heat-related illness during the summer.
It's shade season, a concept launched by the New Jersey Tree Foundation to raise awareness of the important impact trees have in mitigating heat related issues in the summer months. And if you thought shade was just about leaves blocking the sun, that's not even the half of it, according to our executive director, Pam Zipsey. If you've ever felt cooler under a tree than, say, next to a building, it's not in your head. Pam says the gift of shade is the result of a complex chain of events.
Trees use water for the process of photosynthesis, which is how they um, convert energy from the sun into food for their growth and storage. And so that process uses water, as part of the formula of photosynthesis, but also that's a very hot process. And the trees use water as a cooling system while the process of photosynthesis is going on. So as trees are taking water up from the soil and using it in those ways, then they're kind of expelling water vapor out of little holes in the underside of the leaves. And so tree shade kind of hits different than the shade from a building or shade from an umbrella or a tarp or, an awning, because it's not just like a physical barrier to the sun, but it's also that water vapor that's coming out of the leaves. It's kind of like an invisible mist that really helps to additionally drop the temperatures and make things feel cooler under the shade of the tree. And it's a significant difference. The data shows anywhere from like 3 to 7 degrees Fahrenheit difference in urban settings between being in the shade of a tree and then not shade.
A big part of our method of community tree planting means that we work with residents to plant the right trees in the right places. Camden is an area of low tree canopy, and residents here want trees in part to combat sweltering summer heat. Pam and program directors Crystal Wessel and Meredith Piccini take us on a tour of tree planting projects that were planned with shade in mind.
Well, I mean, you can see this horse chestnut, and it's got a really dense canopy, providing a lot of really thick, solid shade, and it's doing great. And you can see kind of up the block, there are a couple more, and they all look good. We've also got another species, the Amormachia, which is the next tree up there. And it also is looking really good. The shade is a little more dappled, but the tree has kind of grown up and over the road, and you've got a car parked under it and a little bit of shade. And I think that's, this is an example of trees doing what they were intended to do, right? So they're along the sidewalk, they're shading our walk. Depending on the time of day and the angle of the sun, they're shading the stoops, they're shading the cars that are parked along the street. So they're cooling the asphalt. They're doing their evapotranspiration thing and cooling the ambient air around them, making it more livable for the people just walking their dog or walking to school or living their life. And then even just being able to sit out on your stoop in the shade and lowering temperatures in the house, reducing energy costs. So these street tree plantings are working really hard to provide all of those environmental services benefits. And it's really great to come back to a project we did more than 10 years ago and see it doing the job it was intended to do.
Summer heat is a major concern in cities across the state due to the heat island effect. According to the EPA, heat islands occur in urban areas when buildings, roads, and other infrastructure absorbs and re-emits the sun's heat more than in suburban and rural areas with more natural landscapes. In cities, concrete and other materials trap heat at the ground level, creating uncomfortable and unsafe heat exposures for residents during summer months. Adding more trees to cities and swapping concrete for soil in the process is a natural solution to a man-made problem.
So not only have you created a place to put a tree that will provide all the benefits that trees provide, but you've also broken up that impervious surface. So stormwater can percolate down into the soil instead of just rushing down the road. And then the tree will use that water. So it's all part of improving the environment, improving the natural system in the city that is really a very unnatural place for wildlife to live.
Our method of community tree planting is rooted in education. Residents who want to bring trees to their neighborhood reach out to our program directors, who spend time working with neighbors to help identify the trees that will help address their specific street-level environmental needs. The promise of shade prompts even reluctant residents to give trees a chance. That's why Pam is introducing the concept of shade season, a reminder to plant trees and give thanks for the cooling comfort they provide.
And if you're not tuned in to trees, some people just don't notice them, or don't actively think about what the tree is doing. And, maybe you get a little annoyed that you have to rake some leaves, or when the flower petals fall, it makes a little bit of a mess on your sidewalk. But if you really think about the entirety of what that tree is doing on your property, it's, helping you save energy. It's creating that shade. It's making a more livable environment for you. The shade is huge. And I think the shade is one of the most tangible pieces of the environmental services package that trees provide. So if we can get people to recognize trees for providing the shade that makes it comfortable for them to sit outside their home during the summer months and talk to their neighbors or walk their dog and just be outside and be part of your community because it's comfortable to stand in the shade of the trees, recognizing the tree that is providing that shade. I think that's what I hope for shade season. That summer is a great time to be outside, and what makes it better is being outside underneath trees.
But can one tree actually make that much of a difference?
Of course, one tree can make a difference, especially to you if it's your tree, right? But every tree is adding to the environmental services benefits. Every tree is providing some shade and is absorbing and intercepting rainwater during a heavy storm and is trapping particulate matter, those small particulates of dust and dirt that are polluting our air. Every tree is trapping those in the little hairs on their leaves, in the ridges in their bark. And every tree is also absorbing sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, ground level ozone, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide out of the air.
It all sounds too good to be true. So our community tree planting program directors like Crystal don't just help residents plant trees, they help them track their benefits through the iTree app.
At the end of each planting season, we will put all of the trees that we planted into this tool called iTree Design, which is a free program that is available to anyone. It's pretty easy to learn how to use. And we just put, for example, this is a Japanese tree lilac. I planted a lilac tree at this address. And then this program will calculate the stormwater benefits, So how much stormwater it's absorbed, how much runoff has been avoided, the air quality benefits, so the air pollution that it's absorbed, and then also the carbon dioxide that it's removed from the air. Then it also calculates energy savings. So like we've got air conditioners in the windows here. By having the tree shade that air conditioner, shade the house, you're needing to run your air conditioner a lot less in the summertime. So you're not only saving money through running your air conditioner less, but you're also reducing the emissions that come from running your air conditioner at full blast when it's 90 degrees outside.
And yes, you heard that right. Crystal mentioned cost savings. But does that mean money grows on trees? Well, sort of. This information is helpful if you, your neighbor, or your local leaders aren't so sure about the value of planting trees because, well, money talks.
So you just plop the tree right in this tool and then it'll show all these different benefits. And the really cool thing is it will also attach a dollar value to them. So of course, with your utility savings, it'll say you saved, $100 this year by planting this tree outside of your house and providing shade. But it will also quantify those air quality savings, the stormwater savings, and that's a tool that you can use then, when you're talking to people about planting new trees, you could say, hey, if you plant this tree, it's actually going to save you money. It's going to save your municipality money. Like these trees actually have a monetary benefit to them. They don't just look nice.
Using iTree, it's easy to see how the cumulative benefits grow over the years, sort of like compound interest for the environment, and every single tree creates positive impact.
It will show you the benefits that year, and then it'll also show you years into the future. So even if I put in one single tree, one little 2-inch caliper tree, it still gives some benefits, even if they're small. It's still providing shade. It is still absorbing stormwater. It is still removing pollutants from the air. So every tree makes a difference, even when they're small.
Meredith is the New Jersey Tree Foundation's Education Outreach Program Director, and she's led many of the plantings illustrated in this episode. She hopes the Shade Season Awareness campaign will inspire renters in cities everywhere to reach out and get involved.
Change can happen. I've had renters reach out to me. They really want a tree, so they bug their landlord. And sometimes, bullying your landlord means you get a free tree. I'm just kidding. I shouldn't say it like that. The landlord sees the benefits and is able to get a tree. So, really, one person can really make a difference. And just going out and seeing what's available in your town.
Pam, Crystal, and Meredith want you to remember your trees this summer, each one a beacon of swelter fighting power, and a lot more.
You can feel the effect of one tree. Like if you're walking down the block and you get underneath that one tree, it feels different. You can feel it and you can see it. And you can see the bird that is also sitting in that tree. And it's important to that bird too. And that's providing a home for the caterpillars that the bird is going to eat and use to feed its baby birds. And it's all part of our collective ecosystem. And in the cities, sometimes the trees are really a missing piece of that. So if we can put them back, we're making the environment more full, as it should be.
People and Trees is a production of the New Jersey Tree Foundation, an equal opportunity provider. This program is funded by the Inflation Reduction Act and U.S. Department of Agriculture, Forest Service, Urban and Community Forestry Program. To learn more about urban forestry and the work of the New Jersey Tree Foundation, visit us at njtrees.org.